From the court to the classroom, from the block to the boardroom, this is the Michael Graham Show, where real talk meets real life. Join Michael Graham as he breaks down the big issues: youth development, community programs, housing, jobs, and the challenges that shape us all. Loud, funny, real. The voices of experience from athletes, educators, advocates, and everyday warriors are all right here. This is where community comes to talk. This is the Michael Graham Show.
Oh, folks, it's Michael Graham. I'm back for another show. Oh, we got a great one for you guys tonight. Thank you all for being here. Of course, you know I'm always not alone. I'm always here with my co-host, Bobby Kinzer. He's the author of a book called The Other Side of the Hoop, The European Experience. And Bobby, how you doing, my man?
What's up, Michael? How you doing, man?
What's up, baby boy? How
Glad
you
to
been?
be here. Man, I'm pumped up for
me
today's show, man. I'm fired up like a man smoking a cigar at the gas station. I'm about to blow up. Looking forward to today.
Well, I mean, I'm blessed. You know, I'm still getting over the weekend I had. You know, the week just giving out a lot of food and everything. You know, trying to keep our people in DC fed. So that's the main priority right now. You know, so
that's a great thing,
it.
Mike, that you do. That's a great thing that you do. And I just spoke at the Widow's Pantry the other day, a nonprofit helping people with food and other necessities, and I also spoke at the Prince William County Juvenile Detention Center, man, and just seeing young guys in there looking so young and innocent, man, like between 12 and 17. So keep doing what you do, Mike. Keep serving the people. That's what we do, y'all. We're not just here on the show talking the talk. We're trying to walk the walk.
That's it, man. Somebody did it for me. So, you know, that's a must, man. So, yeah, that's a must, you know.
Yeah. So, Mike, man, let's get this show started, man.
Okay. All right.
So, Mike, we are very fortunate and honored to have the guests we do, all DC, Washington, D.C. homeboys. And I'd like to start off with the wonderful Mr. Kermit Washington. Went to Coolidge High School, actually Berta Backus Junior High School, Coolidge High School. Went to American U between 1970 and 73, and graduated consensus All-American, one of, I think, 7 players in the history of college basketball to average 20 points and 20 rebounds. And one of those other people, one of my favorites, Dr. J. Julius Erving. He went on to be drafted the first round and the 5th player selected for the Los Angeles Lakers. Went on to play for Boston Celtics, San Diego Clippers, the Golden State Warriors, and Portland. So without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, welcome into the stage, Mr. Kermit Washington.
Okay. Hey. Go ahead and introduce the rest of them, Bobby, because I think Wilbert can't get on his camera. He hear our conversation, and I think we lost Lloyd.
No, we got Lloyd. He's in the backstage. Lloyd is there.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't see him on here. Okay, I see him. I see him.
So let me introduce him next. Next, ladies and gentlemen, I call him my big brother, and he's been knowing me since I was like 170 pounds. Lloyd Mayes, ladies and gentlemen, out of Cardozo High School, went to the University of Minnesota, JUCO, Crook, I think it's called Crookston. And matter of fact, he was the only black player, I think, actually in the whole school, at least on the team. But the interesting thing about Lloyd Mayes is, Lloyd, man, oh my God, Mike, he has an interesting career Lloyd played in Europe. He played in Luxembourg, France, Germany, Belgium, Holland, Austria, Italy, Monaco, Sweden, Yugoslavia, Switzerland, Denmark, Spain, Portugal, Mexico, and Mozambique. And that's just to name a few. He was inducted into the Hall of Fame at the University of Minnesota, Crookston, and he was a track man. He is the president of the DMV Athletes in Action. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into the stage my wonderful big brother, Lloyd Mayes. How you doing, Lloyd?
Thank you. It's so good to be with you guys, man. I feel like I'm among stars, so I'm just a little bleep on the radar, but I'm glad to be with all you guys.
And that's the thing about you and Kermit that I've learned, man, y'all are two most humble guys, and the things that y'all have accomplished, not just for yourselves, but the things y'all have done for other people. Because Lloyd, I forgot to mention, is an educator by his former profession, and Kermit did a lot of things for underprivileged countries like Rwanda and we in other places. But we're going to talk about those things in a minute. Now, I don't know. Let's see. Hold on, Mike. I want to see if hey,
Wilbur made it in.
Yeah.
Okay.
We can hear him, but we can't see him.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Wow. Okay,
we're good. So Wilbur, I want to introduce Wilbur Thomas to our audience. Another DC homeboy, went to Berta Backus, Roosevelt High School, went to American University, was all East Coast Conference co-player of the year, averaged 19.5 points and 11.2 rebounds, and was drafted by the Milwaukee Bucks in the 7th round in 1975. Went to AU from 72 to 1975. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome the wonderful Mr. Wilbur Thomas. Wish we could see you, Wilbur, but as long as you can hear us, that's a good start.
Yeah, well, I'm glad because I don't want Lloyd looking at me anyway. So
now I can't hear you guys.
Okay.
You can't hear us? Can you hear me?
Now I can.
Okay.
Hear you.
Well, we're in a virtual
second.
We're in a virtual.
I can hear you now.
We're in a virtual studio, so every
you went
now
off for a
then,
second.
Yeah, we're in a virtual studio, so sometimes the internet is not in our favor. So bear with us, fellas, and the audience. Can you still hear us, Kermit?
Kermit.
Lloyd, can you hear us? Can we hear us, Lloyd?
Now I can't hear you.
Okay.
Tell him to take his headphones out.
My earphones off?
Yeah, take them out.
No, okay. You got to unplug them though, Kermit.
Where you? Oh, damn it.
Can you hear him now?
Lloyd,
yeah, I got to get you back on. Okay.
Okay.
I can hear. You know what? You have to realize, hey, I'm an old guy now because I can only hear out of one ear.
I can dig that.
So, I'm not as old as Lloyd, but I'm good.
Yeah, Lloyd, goddamn, Lloyd. When God said, "Let there be light," Lloyd hit the switch. But just want to let y'all know, if you're having a problem with the connection, get out and come back in. It's the best way to do it. You know, instead of trying to wait and fiddle with your apparatus, the best way is just totally get out and reconnect to another connection.
Well, I can hear you and I can see you.
Okay, great. So, I just want to start off by going back. Starting in DC. Kermit, you went to Berta Backus Junior High School.
Yeah.
Wilbur, you went.
You know what? James Brown was my classmate at Berta. He went to DeMatha. He was a good player, so he left. But Lloyd and I laughed, but Bertie Backus was a dangerous place.
Yeah, but remember who else went to Berta Backus? Wilbur went to Berta Backus. Yeah. Adrian Dantley, James Brown, Donald Washington, and they were all coached by my high school coach at Woodrow Wilson, Coach Don Fugel.
Yes, I remember him. Yes.
He's
a very skinny white guy.
Yes. Pay the DC teachers, man. So start off, Kermit.
Let me just throw something to you.
Yes.
I went to Bird Bacchus, but I never played.
What?
And Kermit
I never
didn't
played
play
at Birdie Bacchus.
And Kermit didn't either, right?
I
didn't play until I got to Roosevelt.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Same with Kermit. Same thing with you too, right, Kermit?
I didn't play till my senior year at Coolidge.
Wow.
Hey, you guys got nothing to say about all of that. I didn't play a basketball game until I was in college in JUCO.
What?
I didn't know that.
I never played in high school.
And
never
see,
played in junior high school.
This is why I do this. See, this is what these kids need to hear, man. I'm telling you, man. Man.
That is crazy, man.
That is crazy.
And then, Mike, for you to know what people don't understand about Lloyd Mayes' background, Lloyd didn't come to AU until he was about, am I right, 23 years old, Lloyd?
About
23. I went to college at 21. I got to AU in the summer of 1970, and I was 23 at the time.
Okay. So open forum right now. Can y'all, and I experienced, Mike is way younger than me, but I caught y'all. Y'all were just getting ready to go. No, y'all were in college, right? So talk about the DC playgrounds.
Well, I can tell you my first experience playing against Kermit. It was when AU signed me. And this is when we all would go up to Rudolph and play. Everybody would come up to Rudolph. And I'm playing against Kermit. My team is playing against Kermit. And I made the mistake of trying to drive to the basket. He sent me all over the damn place. That was my first experience playing against Kermit. I said to myself, does he know I'm going to the same school with him? Don't he want me to play there with him?
You know what, though? There'd be 100 people down at Rudolph Playground. And if you lost, unless you were Austin Carr or Sid Cattler or College Jump.
You may as well go home.
We all suffer from the same thing.
Your day was over.
Hey, I'm sorry to cut y'all off for a minute, but did y'all have a Foster on y'all team?
Oh, yeah, Foster from Roosevelt.
No. K. Foster.
I don't know his first name, but he played my senior year.
Yeah. Bobby Foster was his name. Yeah. Robert Foster.
What was his name?
Foster was his name.
Okay, this guy's Kevin. Kevin Foster. I think he knows you. Kermit.
Yeah, Foster went to Roosevelt, and he was a star at Roosevelt.
Yeah, he was. He was
a star at Roosevelt. Okay. But see, you have to realize all these guys that were so good, they didn't go to college. But they had some guys, I'm telling you, that were so good that they would have done very well in college if they could have qualified. But we're talking about 1970, where there weren't too many blacks getting the opportunity to go to college. But they could play. The playground, it was unbelievable. Unbelievable.
And there's another player that didn't go to college that went to Bird Bacchus under Coach Fugel too, and he went to McKinley Tech. His name was Apple Milam. Y'all remember him?
Oh,
yeah, of course. Yeah.
Apple. Yeah. Apple.
He just passed about a year ago, by the way. Didn't he, Lloyd?
That was one of the best high school teams ever in DC. I'm not saying it was the best, but it was unbelievable. And doing a Christmas tournament, I think Lloyd and especially Wilbur, you'd have 10,000 people in the stadium and 5,000 people outside wanting to get in to see that.
Yeah, that's right.
And this is a high school game?
Oh, high school.
Yep.
Oh, you could pack, because that was the biggest game in town, basketball. It was high school. But McKinley Tech, DeMatha, Mackin, they always invite St. John's, but they had some great high school players back then.
So that team was called the Magnificent Seven or something like that. They had Evan Tatum, they had Mozart, they had the boy, first black player at Georgia named
Ronnie Hogue.
Ronnie Hogue. Thank you, Wilbur.
Tim Bassett.
Tim Bassett. Right.
Tim Bassett, who played for the Nets.
Yes.
Yeah. Played against him all the time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome team.
You had the center, went to Minnesota. I don't forgot his name, but you had Tatum, who was one of the best point guards at McKinley Tech. And you had some guy named Nehru. Do you know what I'm talking about, Lloyd or Wilbur?
I do. I know the new dude Nehru. Yes.
Oh, they were good. They were so good.
Right. So y'all.
There was Michael Bossard.
Yeah.
And
Center.
Tim Bassett. There was I'm missing
Ronnie
somebody.
Hogue.
There was Apple
Ronnie
Milam.
Hogue.
And
Apple Milam,
Ronnie
Hogue,
and Kevin Tatum.
Yeah.
That was their 5.
Yeah.
But they were deep on the bench too. Was Lonnie Perrin there then as a sophomore?
They had a guy on the bench, I think. Was it
that was
Bradshaw coming off the bench?
1969. They were considered one of the best.
Yeah.
Was Bradshaw coming
Tyrone
off the bench?
You know what? Tyrone
Bradshaw.
Yeah.
University of Hawaii. Yes. He went to Hawaii.
Yes, he was 6 man. And all of those guys have passed now. All 6 of them.
Wow.
And I can't think of who the 7th guy was, but I was a little bit ahead of them, about 4 years ahead of them. But I believe all of that whole 7. I don't think there's one left.
Hey, Lloyd, what's that guy that used to play down at Sherwood League for out of Tech? Hucklebuck. Was Hucklebuck on that team?
Oh yeah, Bill. He used to rep the games when I was playing at Melvin's Crab House. Big old Hucklebuck. He used to play for Melvin.
That was the hackinest guy, man.
He was.
I just talked to Huck last Thursday night. Huck went to McKinley. He played ball, but he wasn't in there. He may have been like the 7th or 8th guy,
Right.
And when I think about it, I think he came out of school before those guys. I think he came out 65, 66, something like that. I just talked to him.
This is all I remember.
William Wormley is his name.
Wormley. This is what I remember about him, Lloyd. I'm in senior in high school at Wilson. We playing at the Sherwood League down there. What's that? 8th and the H or something like that. And I go up, and he steps on my foot, so I couldn't jump. Then the next time I jump, he pulled my shorts down. I'm like, what kind of dude is this, man? I mean,
that's how he used to do me. But he was a big old strong dude, man. But I used to have to get up in there.
But look,
he was strong. He was
very strong,
and he could jump too.
Yeah, he could jump.
Like John Thompson.
That was
John was big.
You up and argued that he never touched you.
That you touched John Thompson. Wow. I said, you everybody called him a foul for everything. He was a bully down there.
Yeah, he was.
Hey, so talk to us a little bit about AU, you all, because y'all had a great team, but I think Wilbur is Wilbur played only 1 year with each of you, or 2 years with you, Kermit?
No, 1 year, and he
was
the leading scorer my senior year.
Okay.
Yeah, Wilbur just took in charge of everything. He was very mature for his age on the basketball court. Very mature. But he was like Lloyd in a way, telling everybody what to do.
Yeah, that's Lloyd.
I figured, to me that's leadership. But let me ask y'all this, and this for all 3 of y'all. Building the foundation. You 3 were credited with putting AU basketball on the national map. So what was the team culture like under Coach Tom Young that allowed such a rapid rise with you guys playing?
You know what? It was all inner city kids.
Okay.
We were all, Lloyd from Cardozo, I'm Coolidge, Wilbur's from Roosevelt, Johnny Lloyd from Anacostia, Steve Garrett from DeMatha. Everybody was from was local kids. And that's the first time they ever had all those kids from the inner city playing together. But we know what, you play on the playgrounds in DC.
Yeah, now Art Perry.
Oh, and Art Perry.
Art Perry was and he was from Eastern. So what made that work was that you had guys all from DC, but from different quadrants of the city. Wilbur and I grew up across the street from one another, which was extremely unusual for two guys to end up. And I'm like 6 years difference between Wilbur and I. Right. And so it was very unusual for us to end up at AU at the same time. But I mean, it was that we were all hungry. We were hungry for success and to play well. So it would not have mattered who was coaching the team. Our drive internally, individually, was about success, about succeeding.
Let me just add to Lloyd.
All of us, with the exception of Wilbur, I think. You know, go ahead, Wilbur.
You don't have to teach inner city kids toughness. The playgrounds in the city teach us toughness.
Yes, you know, that's where I got mine from. Yep.
We don't back down from a fight or anything like that. Let's go with it. And then after that, let's keep playing. So all the coaches had to do was just, okay, tell us what plays you want us to run and all of that, because the toughness is always there with us. That's the advantage, I think, that inner city kids will always have on kids in the suburbs. Kids in the suburbs, you know, they understand, oh, well, go here, go there. But the toughness part, they don't get that in the suburbs. They got to come in the city if they want that.
Right.
Well, the interesting thing, go ahead, Kermit.
Everybody would say, you foul me again, I'm going to shoot you.
Everybody's, I remember that. I heard that so much now up to playground.
I'm going to go to my car. Well, my brother was there, and he played football. And I said, Chris, don't let that guy leave the playground. Don't let that guy leave the playground. It was very aggressive. And what Wilbur is saying is correct. Because you're going to get fouled. You're going to get fouled really hard.
Yeah.
And they'll tell you, if the game is 28 points up, you better have Austin Carr or some shooter to shoot from a distance, because
don't even think about driving to the basket.
Don't even think about going down the lane.
What?
It was rough. It was rough.
Okay.
Oh, and it was funny. They would fight over the next down.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Down. But if Austin Carr came and Sid Cattler or Fatty or all these different great ball players in college, well, they would get right on the court, because everybody Austin, or they wanted other guys you probably don't know, because you 20 points up, 28 points up, next wins. And if you start, you're finished for the night.
Done. Now check this out. So I lived on 14th and Webster, across the street from up to playground. Around the corner, Marvin Gaye lived. Marvin Gaye, when he come in town, would come down to Upshur. Remember the Adidas with the 3 stripes on the shoulder?
Yeah.
He had the ball cap. And he would come down the playground, like you said, Kermit. It'd be packed. But he'd come down there. Everybody wanted to pick Marvin to be on his team. And then if he didn't get on your team, everybody was trying to block Marvin Gaye's shot so he could say, I blocked Marvin Gaye's shot.
We had guys, we had a guy, Bernard Jones. I think Lloyd knows him. I don't know if Wilbur, he's a little bit younger. He wanted to go to San Jose and play football. Somebody took his down one time. He got a Volkswagen, drove through the fence, and parked in the middle of the court.
Stop.
And then what? He got his down. They gave him his down.
I know that's right. Check this out. Okay, the big wins. During y'all era, AU regularly defeated powerhouse programs like my school, Georgetown, Temple, St. John's. Which of these giant slam moments felt the most significant for the program of AU?
For me, it was St. John's.
St. John's. How about you, Lloyd?
What do you say, Wilbur?
It was definitely St. John's.
St. John's?
Yeah. They had 3 guys, 2 guys that were first-round draft picks. Mel Davis, Mel Schaefer.
Oh, I remember Mel Davis.
Yeah. We beat them. We beat
them at the fort, like 79, 75. But see, they had good players. but we had confidence. I think we started off that year like 9-1. We beat Syracuse. We beat some good teams like Virginia Tech. I don't have the schedule. Richmond. Now we played some easier teams, but we beat some really good teams. And we would. Now this is the thing. We never beat St. Joe's. I don't know why.
What?
And my Coach Young, was mad after that game at St. Joe's. We would have been ranked in the nation if we had beaten St. Joe's. But we just couldn't beat them.
But Kermit, let me correct you a little bit. My senior year, we beat St. Joe's, Temple, and LaSalle. All three of them my senior year.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So what conference were you all in?
Huh?
What was the conference? What was the conference you was all in?
Mid-Atlantic. Okay. But you know what?
Mid-Atlantic.
AU changed about 3 or 4 times since in different conferences. They have.
Yeah, because at the earlier years in '70, it was called the East Coast Conference, the ECC.
Everybody in the East. It was the ECAC, I think.
That's it, ECAC.
That's what it was.
I can't remember.
And they, what? It was tough. We had some tough games. We just never beat St. Joe's, and we never beat Temple.
Yeah. Hey, tell me this, you all, because this is what people don't understand. AU is a really interesting school where it is situated in Washington, D.C. Upper Washington, D.C. is almost isolated. It seems like it's in a whole nother town. But what people don't know, especially when y'all went there, how was it for young black men going? Because that campus was a lot of Jewish students, a lot of parochial.
Probably Wilbur and Lloyd. What do you think? Is about 50 white people in the whole school?
Really?
I don't know.
To your earlier point, when you say it's outside of Washington, speaking as a father of 2 kids who went to college, it's probably one of the best places to send a kid away from the family, but close enough where the family can get there. Right. And from speaking as a father of 2 kids who graduated from college, my daughter went to Savannah College of Art and Design, and my son went to AU and played ball there.
Oh, okay.
I'm quite happy with them being away from home. And they never came back home, except during the holidays. They didn't, they got to college and then, this is nice.
You have to realize that back in the 70s, blacks really weren't allowed to go past 16th Street.
Right. Yeah, I remember that.
Rock Creek Park was that was it. You go on the other side and the police stop and you asking you where you go.
Right.
And so for us to go, for me, it was like another world. First of all, I don't know about Wilbur or Lloyd. I had never had air conditioning. I had drapes on my window. I never had a bed that I could fit in. I mean,
same here. Same here. Yeah.
I never had breakfast in my life. So I go to AU. I said, "Oh, this food is good. This food is good." For us, it was a different world. I mean, and if you wanted to go back to the city, it's just get on the car. We'll go about 10 minutes away.
Yep.
But there were so many people at AU whose family were rich. I mean, I could just had the pick of the litter. Let me borrow your car. Let me borrow your car. Let me borrow your car. My girlfriend had a car. I'd borrow her car. One of the players had a car. I'd borrow his car, and they didn't mind.
Well, there's a lot of congressmen and senators' kids went to AU.
I did.
Yeah.
I have to say something. It's
American U is a 4 years school.
Yeah.
Is a what? Is a what?
I was saying those 4 years were the best 4 years of my life.
It's a Methodist school.
Mine too, Kermit.
It was the best years of my life because the kids,
the enrollment at AU at the time.
Everybody was optimistic. We said
it's a Methodist school, but the enrollment was 80 80% Jewish.
Wow.
Really?
But you
wow.
know what? I didn't know that.
We were.
They were white. I thought.
Well, they got a big church right across the street.
I know.
Big Methodist church right across the street. It was their school.
Yeah, their school.
But it was.
That's the only reason why that church is there.
Pretty much 80+% Jewish, and then there was in 10. I think it was 10 or 12% Arab, and then we kind of comprised whatever small percentage that was left with the black students there, but it wasn't a large percentage of us. I think it was about 130 black students at AU during my time in 70 to 72. Really, was that a people. It didn't seem like it because we were very visible and active on.
No, I tell you, I enjoyed it. No,
I didn't live on campus. I wasn't going to live on campus.
Mm-hmm. So you lived off campus?
Lloyd, you did. You had all those girls. I mean, Lloyd lived in the women's dorm.
Look, you talking about Chella Chella. That's the player from the Himalayas. Lloyd is secret. He's the undercover lover. I just want to tell you that, okay?
But I want to just add something to the conversation. Lloyd said there wasn't a lot of blacks, but I don't recall, and maybe Lloyd and Kermit can correct me, but I didn't see anything negative towards us as blacks. And I don't know if it's because they were afraid of us or what, but I never encountered anything. I don't know about you two. And the other thing I want to add is, we had some really, really accomplished people along with us when we went there. The guy who roomed next door to me in Leonard Hall, his name was Gerald Bruce Lee. He was a federal judge in Virginia. He handled some really high cases. His last case before he retired was the one with the Redskins changing their name.
Wow.
Yeah, Gerald Bruce Lee. He handled another major case where a doctor killed his wife and kids. He was handling that case, but he was very prominent. And in Virginia, he had to be good to become a judge,
especially Virginia.
Yeah, but he retired a couple years ago, and I'm still friends with him. He was down here with his wife about a year ago, with another guy who went to AU with us, Tyrone Harris. I'm sure you know Tyrone, Kermit. I know Lloyd does.
Tyrone's really good. You know what? It was a lot of. That's one thing that really helped all of us in a sense, because one of my roommates is worth about $200 million.
Wow.
Alan Meltzer. He built a part onto American University, but he donates, tens of thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars to American University since he's left. And then other teammates have done very well financially and in business wise. And so we had a good team. We all got along. We did. And the coach was good. He would yell. I give you a good example. Well, we playing in the Garden, and he tells us, I don't know who we were playing. Maybe Wilbur, you can remember. And he said,
we played in the Garden twice. We played Fairleigh Dickinson the first time. We played Louisville in the NIT.
Okay.
We played somebody, and he says for the guys, don't go out. Be in by 11. Well, some of the guys snuck out and went to the Playboy Club, but that's not the Playboy Club. Oh,
hey, was that NIT run? Was that during 1973? Right?
Yeah, it wasn't.
Yeah. It was 73.
Well, what was the postseason atmosphere like for the university? I mean, that was the first time they was in a major tournament. NIT for the first time. What was the university like?
Here's the thing: we were 21-4. Mm-hmm. So nowadays we would have been in the NCAA. Because only 24 teams went to the tournament, NCAA tournament back then.
Right.
Wow. Yeah, division champions were the only ones that went to the NCAA. He's right. Yeah.
And if we eaten,
but you must remember. You got to remember something. Back then, you had a choice of being selected for the National Invitation Tournament or the NCAA, and a lot of teams chose to go to the NIT rather than go to the NCAAs. The NIT was a much more prestigious tournament than the NCAA tournament was, you know, because it was invitation only, and because as it ranked in terms of hierarchy, that you would rather be in New York City and Madison Square Garden than you would in Terre Haute, Indiana, or something. You know, it really wasn't a big gap there in terms of talent, but it was a big gap in terms of what the marketability, how resonant your team was if it went to the NIT rather. And teams would play the NCAAs, and then if they won at the NCAA, or lost, they would go to the NIT after that if they were a favorite team.
Right.
Wow. But Mike, I'm gonna be honest, we couldn't have beat your team. I'm gonna be honest, because I would like to think that we could, but we couldn't.
Right.
But
we talking about Georgetown.
We played against 10 guys that made the NBA or the ABA. So we weren't playing guys that weren't good.
Yeah, y'all was playing some players.
We had like 10 guys that made the NBA.
Hey, Mike. Mike.
Yes, sir.
We had good players we played against. And
I kid your former coach about this. I say, Coach, I beat you 2 out of the 3 times we played you.
Y'all did?
I kid your former coach about this.
Wait,
we beat them Kermit's senior year, and then we beat them my senior year, and I hit the last second shot to beat them. And John came up to me after the game.
Your shot, Lord.
Shook my hand. He said, "You son of a bitch."
Well, you know what? And my last game, it was against a regular season game. It was against Georgetown, and I needed to score 40 points.
Yeah.
To make the 2020 club. The only 6 guys had ever done that. To make 20 points and 20 rebounds a game for your career, for the whole career. And it's against John Thompson sitting up there, and I knew John Thompson really well.
Yeah.
And Wilbur and all those guys, though, I was tired because the sports information director came into my room the night before and said, "Kermit, you got to score 40 points." I said, "I've never scored over 30 points. You want me to score 40? Well, you won't make the 2020 club." So I didn't sleep that night. I was a nervous wreck.
Wow. Well, let me ask you this.
I'm yelling at Kermit during the game. "Get down there on the box, man. I'm throwing you the ball. Get down there on the box."
Yeah, get down there. But during that 2020 season in 72 and 73, you became the last NCAA player to average 20 points and 20 rebounds per game.
Yep.
Did you realize at the time you were setting a record that might not never be broken?
Oh, it'll be broken. But you know what will happen? They're not, if they can average 20 points and 20 rebounds for a sophomore, they're gone. They're first drafted.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, so you're right. Yeah.
20 points and 20 rebounds. But I don't think they would stay for 3 years. No, I was for 4 years. But in our days, you had to play freshman ball.
Right.
You play varsity.
Right. I got a question for a young man up here, Mr. Benny Blanco. He said, "What year did you guys beat Georgetown?"
Every year.
73.
We never
we beat them 73. They beat us in 74, and we beat them in 75.
We won all.
So y'all beat them all 3 years.
And
no, you weren't there in 74. They beat us in 74.
We beat them in 70. We beat them in 71 and 72 and 73 and 74.
What?
We didn't beat them in 74. They beat us. We beat them in 75.
Yeah.
So for the people who are on the show, to let them know, on that team for Georgetown would have had to been Merlin Wilson, Jonathan Smith,
yeah,
Alonzo Cheese Holloway,
Mike Rowley.
Oh, Mike Rowley was on there?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Who was the big guy?
Was Craig Eschick on there?
Yeah.
No,
Larry
Long. He was later.
Larry Long was on the team.
Larry Long was Al Dutch. No, Al
Michael
Dutch came out in
Brooks.
75. Michael Brooks.
Michael
Michael Brooks. They had a good team.
Him.
That was a good team.
But you know what, Michael? I would like to ask you, why did John Thompson play that half-court game with the athletes that you guys had? He played.
Because he's a control freak. He was a control freak.
It was more of control. It was more of a control style. You know, he's a Dean Smith guy. You know, he learned from Dean Smith, so you know that's what he felt like, and we were the players, I guess, to do it. So, yeah. I mean, it turned out all right.
So, gentlemen,
you guys went to 3 straight NCAA championships, so you know
it turned out really all right. You guys went to 3 national title games.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. And you know something?
Shot here and there, Mike.
I wish I would have been around for one more. Then I would have been in Kermit's shoes if I would have been around for one more.
Yeah.
Well, you know what it is.
Yeah.
You know,
I think me and Patrick could have went 1 and 2 in the draft that year.
Yeah, but you know what? The funny thing is, back then, you had the ABA, and I'm surprised, Michael, they didn't grab you. Why didn't the ABA grab you? Your junior year or whatever.
No, they were done when Mike came on. The ABA was already transitioned.
Oh, okay.
They already transitioned.
They were done.
They transitioned.
Yeah, I went to the CBA and played for Phil Jackson.
Yeah. Well, you know what though?
I spent 2 years
with Phil
Jackson.
Yeah. Because like Lloyd Mayes and Wilbur, all of us ran. We were running. We wanted to run. We didn't want to do half court. We had to do it. But you know, I'll give you a good example. We had a lot of running drills to do. Tom Young. It was like the 30-second drill. We had to do the 28-second drills. You know, up and down, up and down, up and down, and 20-some seconds. We would all try to win. It wasn't just trying to make the time of 28 seconds. We wanted to win. You know, and that's the difference I added to the team. Was not going to just take it easy. Now, we had some guys that couldn't make it, but Tom Young knew that. So he said, if everybody doesn't make it in 28 seconds, we got to do it again.
We got to do it again. I used to hate that, man.
I used to hate that. John Bach, I played at Penn State. John Bach used to do that too. But Kermit, tell me this, Kermit. Were y'all practicing in that Cracker Box gym?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mike, they had a stage at the end of the court. They had a stage at the end of the court.
You know, you may or may not be familiar with Bruce Springsteen. But Bruce Springsteen wrote a book. He came to AU and played in that little Crocker box. Him and Clemens, the brother that plays the saxophone, who I love. And he wrote a book, and he said one of his favorite places to play in a concert was a little gym at American University called Leonard Center.
Wow.
Yeah, it's in his book.
Yeah.
No. Wait, Wilbur. Wait a minute, Wilbur. Are you saying he played a concert on that little stage?
He did.
Stop
yes,
it.
he did. Yeah.
He
did.
And I'm quite sure it's Pat. I know it's Pat.
You can get his book and he'll say it.
Mike, it could be Pat.
Coming there.
And it could be Mike. That thing held about maybe at most 100 people in that little gym.
Oh, no, you had more than that.
Oh, stop it, y'all. It didn't have no stands. No, I remember I went to Wilson. I was y'all were up the street from me. I go in there. Y'all had 2 rows for stands. Stop it.
That's it. Yeah.
He's exaggerating. It's more than that.
Okay, 150. So look, we want to transition. So Kermit, we want to start with you. Kermit, now we transition to the pros. 5th player overall drafted to the Lakers. What was that experience like going from DC to LA?
The first 2.5 years I sat on the bench because they had just went to the championship and they got beat by New York. So when I went there, they said, well, you're not going to play. We don't need you yet. But you know what I said? Oh, I'm going to play. They sat me on that bench for 2.5 years. 2.5 years. 2.5
But you was getting paid though, right?
Huh?
Of course you was getting paid, right?
Yeah. You know what though? I was getting paid, but the veterans were mad at me because they're making $50,000 a year. They didn't in 10 years. And here I come, and all of a sudden I'm making $100,000 and not playing.
Check this out. answer this question for me. You were a 2-time academic All-American. A lot of people don't know that.
Yeah.
And you turned down $400,000 to offer to leave school early, but instead you made a commitment to finish your degree.
Well, you know what? If Tom Young would have let me go to summer school, I could have finished my degree in 3 years. But maybe like Wilbur, they didn't want to pay for summer school.
Okay.
Because at American University it was the intermission time during Christmas. We would take a month off, Wilbur, 2 months.
Yeah.
You could take courses.
Yeah.
So I would take another course, and I would basically I could have graduated, because Lloyd always makes fun of me. He says, Kermit, you were either, let me see real good. Quick second. He said, Kermit, you either studying or lifting weights all the time. That's what he said to me all the time.
What you do with your camera, Kermit? Okay, you back.
He's back. He's back.
I got it. But you know what it is? Basketball showed me that if I worked hard, I could succeed. And when I would study about 4 or 5 hours every night, because I wanted to be successful. And my girlfriend was a straight A student. And so I would sit there and study. Now, Friday and Saturday, I had fun. But Monday through Thursday and on Sunday, I would study. But, you know, the truth story, they wanted me to come out of college, the ABA, my sophomore year. The Miami, what was the Miami's team's name? Lloyd or Wilbur?
Floridians.
Whatever it was.
Floridians.
They were the Floridians.
They called me, and because I was, my sophomore year, I think I averaged about 18 points and 21 rebounds a game. They wanted me to come out. They called me. I said, I'm not interested in coming out. First time in my life, I was having fun.
Right.
Having fun. And so I turned that down, but I never told coach or anybody about that. But next year, my junior year, they wanted me to come out. We had a good record, I think like 18-6 or something. I don't remember. And he calls me and he has a very sad look on his face. I said, what's wrong, coach? Well, the New Jersey Nets just called, and Lou Konosaki says that if you want to come out, you'll be their first round draft pick. And they said, if you don't come out, they're going to take Jim Jones.
Right.
I said, coach, I'm not interested in going nowhere. And they offered me, I think it was 4 years, 400,000. Yeah, what, like you said, I had money,
Wow.
but I was happy.
Right.
I had Lloyd Mayes bugging me to death.
Hey, Kermit, tell me this, man. Kermit, tell me this.
People around me, I was happy. You see, that's the difference. And I told Coach, I said, Coach, I'm not interested in leaving. So Coach Young gave me a hug and everything else like that. I said, no. I said, we'll be better next year. We're going to be better next year. And Wilbur came. People don't realize. They think I was a leading scorer and everything. I said, Wilbur was a leading scorer. Wilbur, what did you average, 21 or 22?
I averaged 21.5 my sophomore year there.
Yeah, because you set an AU freshman and sophomore scoring record that stood for decades. And now, and y'all two, I mean, was there a friendly competition between you and Kermit regarding
No,
the sheet?
not at all. Not at all.
Okay.
No, not at all.
Wilbur's telling everybody what to do.
But see, Tom Young had a play which I really just enjoyed every time he called it. Kermit would be on one side. He would start, I think, at the free throw line, go down to the box, and pin his man. And if he wasn't open, I was on the other box, and he would come over and pick my guy. Well, my guy, he see this big Kermit coming at him, So I just had fun. I just run the guy into Kermit, and I'm on the other box by myself shooting the layup.
And Mike, Wilbur had a sweet jump shot.
Yeah.
For his size.
Oh.
No, but now, if we knew what we knew now, Wilbur, you would have made the NBA easy. But he was out of position. You were out of position.
Right.
I was out of position, and I partially blame myself for that, Kermit, to be honest with you. In hindsight, I did have the talent. I probably needed more drive. If I had your drive,
Right.
Because I would have worked on my jump shot even more. Because I could play D. I was quick. I could handle the ball, and I had a nasty ass attitude that's required to play in the NBA.
And if he played out of position, that's more to get him because he can play more than one position.
Yeah.
But Wilbur, I remember you having a nice mid-range jump shot.
Well, I did.
Right, that's what I thought. But Wilbur, this is the other thing, and tell me this, because your timing was not good either. Because when you were drafted by Milwaukee, I think that's when they just traded for Kareem to go to Los Angeles. So I think they got Junior Bridgman. I think that was his guaranteed contract. I think Brian Winters. I think that was a guaranteed contract.
Then they also got Dave Myers in that trade. Dave Myers from UCLA was in that trade.
So and those had to be guaranteed contracts back then.
Of course. But see, Junior Bridgman, I mean, rest his soul, the guy became a billionaire. So I'll give him a lot of credit.
Yes.
But when we played them in the NIT, I mean, Kermit, I tell you, I smoked him.
Yeah.
I mean, I smoked him. I think Kermit had 29 against them, and I think I had 26, and Kermit had 29. I don't know how many rebounds you had, but I had 26 and 9 rebounds. They took Junior Bridgman off me.
Time out for a minute. Hold up for a minute. Time out. So Kermit scoring, you scoring. What did y'all do with Lloyd? Because Lloyd was scoring in the
Lloyd wasn't on the team then.
Lloyd was scoring in Europe. Lloyd was scoring overseas.
But Lloyd, let me ask you this: beyond basketball, you were a standout track and field star. You even you're setting triple jump records at your previous school before AU. How did your track athleticism help your game as a forward for the Eagles?
I never really, track was something I did very mediocrely in high school. I wasn't a star athlete or anything. I was just a middle half mile and up, a middle distance, ran a little cross country. But when I went to school in Minnesota at junior college, they told me, look, it's from either 10 degrees to 0 degrees or below every day just to walk the class. And so I had a work-study job. And they said, well, we're not going to put you out in the cold doing stuff out there, shoveling snow or something. So I said, well, what's my work-study job? They said, you'll be the student coach of the basketball team and the student coach of the track team. And because the different seasons and stuff. Mm-hmm. So I said, well, what does a student coach do for the basketball team? And they said, you need to get the balls. Our gym was upstairs. You get the balls out of the cage downstairs, 2 bags of balls, and bring them up. And then after practice is over, you gather them and take them back down. That's your job. So that was work study. So for
you
track,
won the ball,
said,
in other words.
You ran track. Yeah, just hauling balls. Yeah. So
you guys have to realize, Lloyd, he looked like the king athlete though back then, because we used to get him his very close veins coming everywhere. That brother was skinny. I
was 165 pounds. So in the track, for track, they said, as a student coach of the track team, what do you have to do? Well, you ran middle distance, and you have to work with the middle distance and distance runners. I said, I got to come to practice every day. They said, yeah. So I said, well, if I got to come to practice every day, I might as well run. What am I coming here for? To stand around. So I kind of did it, right, so I wouldn't have to come and just stand around. So I did it, but it was very good for me because at that time, now I didn't go to college till I was 21. So here I am, 22 years old, 22, 23 years old, and I'm dealing with 18-year-old, 19-year-old guys. There ain't no way in the world. The attitude about Black athletes in D.C. was always like, man, you don't let no white athlete do nothing better than you. Right. So I was driven like that. It was like, now, Bobby, you said something I was the only black dude in the school, in the town, and the only black person in the town, and the only black athlete in the conference. So it was like,
so you ain't did a lot of running, did you?
That's why he was running.
You didn't do a lot of running.
Fast break. Fast.
You ran like hell.
Hey, Lloyd, of all the colleges in the United States, that's the only one you can come up with.
Yes, it was. At 21 years old, with a C minus D average in high school.
Right.
Yeah, I thought they put Cardozo High School up there on that hill so that I could sing doo-wops and pinch girls on the butt. That's what I said.
That's right. Marvin Gaye went to Cardozo too. Hey, Lloyd, since you're on that point, we want
there you go.
Hey, Lloyd, since we're on that point right now of you, let's share with us you played in so many countries. Right quick, can you just share that experience with us? A black man playing in so many countries, man. How did that happen?
Well, I started off in Luxembourg, and that's where I played. And I played there for a couple of years, and I was the best player in the country. But my team didn't want to pay me, and they didn't want to re-sign me, so they went looking for someone else after my second year.
That's what they do.
Because they said I was already the highest paid player, and I wanted a better contract. So they hired Jim McGregor, who you know as a flesh peddler. He brought a team in of guys right out of college, and he brought them all to Luxembourg because it was the cheapest way to get airfare into Europe. So he brought them all. And so he come in with 10, 12 American players right out of college, and they start playing exhibition games. And so he says, you the guy that is the player here in this team. They played my team first exhibition game was against my team. And so I didn't want to play. I didn't play in the first half because I was kind of boycotting. Why in the world would I go out here and try to play against a bunch of Americans when you guys don't want to pay me? So I was kind of had it. Okay, I'll play the second half. Well, I scored 36 points in half, and so they're trying to get rid of you, and you just gave these dudes 36. He was like, "Look, if they don't want you, I do. So come join my tour." And so I joined his tour. And when I joined his tour, that was the reason why I played in all those countries, because we played all over from one end of Europe to the other. And so every night, when Wilbur got out of school and he didn't make the bucks, I said, McGregor told me this. It was a strange thing. He asked me on the train one day. He says, "You know this guy, Wilbur Thomas, that went to your school?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Well, he's going to get drafted. This is before the draft, everything." He says he's going to get drafted, but he's not going to make the team. So I said, "Why would you say that?" He says, "I just know what I know. He's not going to make the team. If you go home this summer, ask him if he wants to come over and join the tour." So I came home. I asked Wilbur. He said it's ball. He wanted to play and he wanted to travel. So I said, "Come on, go with me." So we ended up in Europe going traveling and playing ball together.
That's good.
So it's kind of odd mix, but if it wasn't for McGregor, I stayed on that tour for quite a number of years.
Right.
And playing ball and traveling. I loved it. That was the reason. And I never got far enough to get away from people from DC. And while I was there in Europe, I ran into people that would call guys names that I went to high school with. One of them was Ed Epps.
Ed Epps. That was my man. Ed Epps.
Slavia asked if I knew Ed Epps. a Yugoslavian dude. I was like, what? What do you know about Ed Epps? He said he played ball at Brigham Young.
No,
he played at Brigham Young, and he had to play against Ed at Utah State.
Yeah, Oh yeah.
Wow, I didn't know Ed went overseas.
I didn't know either.
Wow. Hey Kermit,
we surprised.
No, he wasn't overseas. He didn't go overseas.
No, he didn't.
Oh,
he played. This Yugoslavian dude played at Brigham Young.
Oh no,
and Brigham Young played Utah State.
So you met him doing school,
and he was
Ed Epps, left hand shooting Ed Epps.
No, right-handed.
Ed Epps was right-handed.
Right-handed.
I know it. Yeah,
right-handed.
Yeah, he's right-handed. Right, Ed.
Mm-hmm.
So
Lloyd, the DMV impact as a DC native who returned to lead AU program, how important it was for you to succeed in DC, in your hometown, coming back
to come back and play.
I didn't want to stay.
Oh, you with Lloyd?
I didn't want to go to school in DC. Kermit is the reason why I stayed. When a school is trying to recruit you, and it's June or July, it's June or July. I don't know. I didn't know anything about AU. They recruited me after I came home from Minnesota, and it was the middle of June. And Kermit was like, he was the only guy who was still on campus or something that was on the team. And they introduced me to him. And it was like, oh, well, I'll tell you that Kermit he's a big dummy. Okay. All right. I'm going to say this in the most respectful way. Yes.
Yeah.
Because not Tom Young, he didn't come to see me, but at my home. And I live between T Street and U Street and 13th Street and 14th Street. So it's like in the belly of the beast around the corner from Ben's Chili Bowl.
Right.
And so then the coach comes, the assistant coach, Tom Davis, came to visit me at my house. And so when he comes and he says, you might want to consider coming to AU. Why would I want to get out of here. I already knew I was going to go to the University of Denver. I was just waiting for them to send a letter of intent so I could sign it. And so I said, I don't know anything about AU. I don't know what kind of team you got, what kind of players. It's the summertime. There's nobody I can gauge this. And he said, well, we got a player from DC named Kermit Washington. I said, I don't know Kermit Washington. He went to Coolidge. I still don't know him. And so he said, well, he's out in the car. Now it's middle of June, middle of July. And he said he's out in the car. Why would he be in the car? Why didn't he come in? He said he didn't want to come in. So he says, come on out and meet him. I go out to the car. Kermit is sitting in the car. The car, no air. The car ain't started. It ain't running. He's sitting in the car. Sweat was coming everywhere. It was like you locked your dog in a car. And Kermit is sitting there. I said, what are you doing in this car?
For 14th and you, I knew not to get out the car.
Smart move.
So, I mean, you go on Lloyd.
He let the white coach come in the house, and he stayed in the car with the doors locked.
Hey, look, I feel sorry for the coach if they would have got behind his tail. He wouldn't have had no help because Kermit would have locked the door.
That's too funny. Hey, Kermit. Can you share with us, man, a life-changing altercation with the Lakers? You mind sharing what happened? Because some people on here know about it, but the young people don't know about. And how much that changed your life with the Rudy Tomjanovich altercation. How did that all play out?
You have to realize, first of all, that's not my personality. Lloyd and Wilbur, I never started a fight in my life. But what happens as a kid, like at Bertie Bacchus, I'm always getting beat up. Bertie Bacchus, you couldn't even get your lunch. They taking your money. So, I had learned from, I tell people the stories. I mean, always getting beat up. I didn't have no money, but they were taking it anyway, whatever I had.
Hey.
Well, Wilbur and all of them understand, and you do too, Michael. You get in line, you have 30 cents for lunch, and the brothers would come and pat your pocket. All the money I find I can have.
I can have. That was the line. All I find I can have.
And if I find some, I'm gonna punch you in the face. So I'm not gonna get lunch. I'm gonna lose my money. I might lose my teeth. I said, I just never got in line. I said, the heck with that. So when I started lifting weights, I had more confidence in myself that I didn't have to put up with this stuff.
Right.
So pro ball is everybody it's a pecking order.
Right.
In NCAA. Back then, it's a pecking order. And you didn't want to be at the bottom of that pecking order. And so what happened in that game was against Houston. I always had to check Moses Malone because they didn't want Kareem to get in foul trouble, and Moses would get Kareem in foul trouble. If I fouled out, they didn't care. I was a sacrificial lamb. But I really liked Moses. I mean, he was a tremendous player, nice guy, but he was tremendous. So I would check him. So I didn't even know who Rudy Tomjanovich was, to be honest with you. I just knew that I had to check Moses all the time. Well, it was a rebound, and back then they didn't have camera angles like they have now. They only had one camera. And they never saw how Kevin Coonert, after a rebound, I fouled him by trying to put my arm across his waist and propel myself to catch up to the fast break. Well, that was a foul, but it was nothing malicious. Well, he throws his left elbow back and hits me in my face, elbows me in the face. So I said, well, maybe this is an accident. But then he turned around and punched me in the face. Oh. I said, oh, that's not an accident. So we got in an altercation. And as he's going down and Kareem is holding him, I see somebody behind me running at me. And you grew up in D.C. Come on. You grew up in D.C. running at you. What do you think? He's there to hit you. So I turned and swung. And he was injured, and that changed my life. Yes. Oh, and definitely. I knew I was in trouble, not because I knew what I did was wrong, but this is 1977. I'm black and he's white.
Right.
Yeah. So I knew they never talked about Kevin Coonert starting the fight. Kermit did a sucker punch at Rudy Tomjanovich. So they suspended me for, I think, 2 or 3 months. I had the biggest fine in the history of basketball. But here's the thing. I knew I didn't do something wrong, but it didn't make any difference. It just, they had already made a judgment that I had sucker punched him. But that's the not inner city people talking. That's the people's suburbs. Well, why did you hit him?
Right.
That's But the thing that the good thing is I had known Red Auerbach since I was a freshman in college. His daughter, Randy Auerbach, went to school with us at American University. Now listen to this story.
Okay.
She needed a ride home. And one day, so my girlfriend, Pat, knew her. We said, we'll give her a ride home. We never thought Red Auerbach lived in Washington, D.C. So we take her home. I walk into the house with her and my girlfriend, and I see all this Celtic stuff. I said to her, who is your father? She says, Red Auerbach. I said, Red Auerbach? I said, let's get out of here. And as soon as I'm trying to walk out the front door, here he comes. Red Auerbach. And so he said, sit down, young man. And he says, who's your favorite player? I said, oh, Bill Russell. Oh, I like you already. He says that.
Wow.
So from that point on, he said, I'm going to keep an eye on you. Okay. And he had a basketball camp up in Marshfield, Massachusetts during the summer.
Camp Millbrook it was. Camp Millbrook.
Yeah. And all of the in the afternoon, Adrian Dantley was there, Jim Brown was there as a counselor like I was, Tom Bertelson. It had some really good college players. But after the camp was over for the little kids, you had about 5 or 6 Celtics that would come and play games at night. And he would let us play with them. And I always played well. I always played well against them. And James Brown did, Adrian Dantley did, we all did. And he said, well, I'm going to draft you when you come out. Well, they always won the championship or something, so he didn't have a chance. But because I knew him, when I got in trouble, with the Lakers and they had suspended me, he picked me up. They were trying to throw me out the league.
Right.
They were trying to get rid of me permanently. But two people saved me. It was Pete Newell and Red Auerbach. And he traded for me, and I hit for the Celtics.
Kermit, your history is so interesting because a lot of young people don't know the name Pete Newell. Pete Newell is a instrumental for big men.
A legend.
And if I'm right, you were one of the first of the big men that he took and trained. Am I right?
Listen, I was the first.
Wow.
For the first 2 years because he was a general manager for the Lakers.
Correct.
And I had read that because here's the thing, and Graham and Wilbur and Lloyd, they all tell you, all coaches aren't always that good in coaching a player at a certain position. Mm-hmm. So both of my head coach and my assistant coach with the Lakers were point guards. They did not know how to help me, but I knew that Pete Newell knew how to help me. Here's the thing. Like I was talking to Adrian Dantley the other day. Mm-hmm. In high school, he was a forward. In college, he was a forward. Right. He was a forward. So he knew the forward position. I was a center in college, never really played in high school much. And now all of a sudden they're making me face the bucket. That's a different world.
Yeah, totally.
Different world. I was used to my back to the basket. So I sat on that bench for 2.5 years. And be honest with you, I deserved to sit there because I was really to work, but I didn't have anybody that could help me. And then I finally got Pete Newell. I kept bugging him, going up to his office after practice. I said, Pete, you got to work with me. Well, I'll embarrass the coaches if I work with you. So I didn't have anybody to work with me. Then he retired my 3rd year. And he says, okay, I'll work with you. Mm-hmm. And from that point on, I became a everyday player. I mean, a lot of minutes because he worked you, brother.
And what were some of the players that he ended up? I know he had Swin Later, Bill Walton.
10 guys made Hall of Fame later on. Okay, well, first what came there was a DC guy. Kenny Carr came.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because he had the same agent with Donald Dell, and I told Donald, you got to send him to the camp. You had Kiki Vandeweghe. You had Bernard King. You had Short. You had Jerome Whitehead. You had Swin Nader. Then what happened? The good guys started coming. They got to the point where you had Dominique, Jerome Kersey, Dale Ellis.
Wow.
Scottie Pippen. I mean, it just kept going. I mean, you had the big guys. You had Olajuwon. You had Kareem. You had Walton. I mean, it was like 200 guys from that one start with me.
Wow.
It's because I became successful because I got somebody who was willing to pay the price. And that's why I tell guys, you need somebody that knows what they're doing to help you. Because a lot of coaches just throw you the ball and say, shoot here, shoot there. But, like Wilbur and Lloyd, well, they played the same position. Wilbur, didn't you play the forward position in high school?
Yeah, I did.
And then in college, he played so he knew the position facing the bucket. But Wilbur had a good game with your back to the bucket too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we all needed somebody to help us. And in college, you really could get away with it just being a good athlete, but not in pro. Because these guys are 10 years older than me, 15 years older, and they're strong.
Yes.
They were strong.
While we're on the subject of college, let me just throw this out there because Kermit, you mentioned about taking classes in the summer. My junior year, I felt like, and you probably felt this too when you played, Kermit, there was a lot of pressure on me to produce a certain amount of average, a certain amount of rebounds, to push the team as best far as I could to make sure that we win. And I'm sure you felt some of that. Well, that was a lot emotionally, physically, because it used to wear me out. And then AU was not an easy school academically, at least for me. I was a business major. I majored in marketing and economics. So and then, we would miss classes because we'd be on the road. So I went to Jimmy Lyon in my junior year, and I said, hey, look, you guys are asking me to do a lot. And, I'm taking hard courses. What I'd like to do is take my hard courses in the summertime.
Right.
So I can apply myself better.
Smart move.
And he went to Bob Fairley, and Bob Fairley okayed it. So I was taking all my hard courses in the summertime, and my senior year, I was taking one course at the end of the year. And I had an internship in Georgetown. I was working at Henry J. Kaufman and Associates, making money. Well, my classmates were running around trying to figure out if they're going to graduate, and I was already there.
Let me ask you this.
But
you were often described as the toughness that made the team stand out. How did your physical style of play complemented Kermit's rebounding?
Kermit had a fear about him when he walked out on the court, believe it or not.
Mm-hmm.
So I just played off of that, if they double team him, the team was in trouble because I was going to kill him.
Right.
And most of the time, my man would try to double team him, and they just throw me the ball. So I was okay, I guess, just playing. But when it called for me to be physical, that's fine too. Because, like I said, when you play in a city, you can also read how the game is going. You know what I'm talking about.
Right.
Is this going to be a tough game? Are we going to have to sweat it out? Are we going to have to fight?
That's it.
So, know all of those things before you get to college. At least I did. So you read situations.
I was saying Wilbur, here's the thing about Wilbur. Wilbur was a leader. He had the mentality of a leader. I only fouled out of one game in college, and that was against LaSalle. Remember that, Wilbur? The last two games of my college career, and we needed to win that game to win 20 games.
We won that game,
and Wilbur took over, and we won that game. But that's Wilbur. You just count on him. Wilbur just said, "Give me the ball," and he could take the people.
That's
he
it.
could slice and dice right through that defense. So we got along as a team. We did. We didn't have any problems. Everybody was unselfish. So I didn't have any problem. I enjoyed the guys immensely. I do.
But I also think people accepted their roles, which made it easier. We knew Kermit was going to score the most and get the most rebounds. We knew that. I just happened to sneak in there and score a lot of points. But that was a given. Kermit was going to get the most rebounds. He was going to play good defense. He's going to block shots. And the rest of us, you just fall in line and play your role. And It made it easier. But when you have a player like that, it makes it easier for all the teams. All the other players, because you just fall in line and say, "Hey, look, Kermit's got this. I just got to do my thing and do this part."
Right.
So it makes it easier.
Hey, got a question, y'all, to transition now. And I want to go around to each one of you all and answer this, because I played pro ball in Europe for 5 years, and every ex-player has to deal with this. How did you handle, when your basketball career ended, how did you handle the transition to what we used to say when we play over, coming back into the real world? How was that transition from basketball to your next phase in life? How did that work out?
For me, it was injuries. So my days were over. My days were over because my back. Here's the thing: back then we played injured. If you were injured, it's not like guys nowadays. My back was hurt or my knee was hurt. We would play, so we didn't get better. It would take us a long time to heal, but we would keep playing. It was no I'm gonna take the day off. I'm gonna take the couple of days off. My toenail hurts. Come on, we played. And so that ended my career quicker. Now, if I had been smart when I was injured, I would have just say, okay, I'm gonna take a day off because I'm really hurt. Because you're hitting the ground, you're pounding. And I was always playing against very tough guys. Maurice Lucas, Truck Robinson, Elvin Hayes, Wes Unseld, other guys that were some guys were just thugs. I mean, Detroit Piston team back then, do you think the bad guys were bad? No, they're nothing compared to Bob Lanier and that Detroit team. Will Trapp, Willie Norwood. I mean, they were really thugs, but they could play. So you got beat around a lot. Maurice Lucas. I mean, all these guys were tough guys. And you took a beating if you were a big guy, because I didn't play outside. I did, like Adrian Dantley says, he told me the other day, he said, I didn't come inside. If I didn't get by you on my first step, I didn't come inside because they were gonna hurt him. They were gonna try to hurt him. But the thing is that for me, I had no choice. My days were over. My days were over. Now, Lloyd and Wilbur.
Lloyd, you can go ahead.
Say that again.
I said, Lloyd, you can go ahead.
Lloyd is kind of frozen. Lloyd is struggling. Lloyd, you might need to come out and come back in.
Lloyd.
Yeah. I didn't. Yeah.
I lost him.
Yes,
we lost him a little.
I'm here.
They were asking you, Lloyd.
I've got a lot of buffering going on.
Well, I can go.
Once you had finished the ball days were over, how did you adjust?
So I didn't hear the question. I didn't hear
it. You want me to go or you want Lloyd to go?
Either or.
You go, Wilbur, and let Lloyd come out and come back in. You go, Wilbur.
It was quite frankly, it was an easy transformation for me because first and foremost, I got a good education at AU. And I was confident in my abilities to do other stuff. And once I accepted that, it was easier to move forward. I don't blame anybody for anything that I couldn't do anything. No, you know what? I got a good education. Let's move forward. I ended up going to law school for 2 years, but I didn't want to be a lawyer. I wanted to be a businessman. So, and then I started working in business. I was VP of a communications company and I had my own company. I had a wonderful lady who I'm married to for 44 years now. We got 2 kids and 5 grandkids. So I guess I think the first thing I had to do was accept that life is no longer, and Bill Russell has a thing going is, somebody asked him, are you a basketball player? I'm sure you heard it. And he told him, no, I'm not a basketball player. And John Havlicek said, why did you say that? You play, and Bill Russell says, basketball, I'm not a basketball player. Basketball is something that I do. That's not who I am. And, once I moved on and accepted that, hey, you can't play basketball the rest of your life. And I realized, hey, you got all this other stuff. So for me, it made it easy. And that's why I say, if there's anything I would tell these black guys to go to college and get scholarships, and I'm sure it's not anything that they haven't been told, get an education, man.
Yes.
Your chances of playing basketball are not that great. Get an education. And they're getting less great because you got all these players coming from other countries that are taking positions from U.S. players. So they're getting even less greater. And I would say, hey, look, get your education, man. Figure out what you want to do while you're in college, because once the ball starts bouncing, they ain't going to be around for you. They're going to say, hey, bye. That's it.
That is so true. Hey, Lloyd, are you back?
Lloyd.
I see his picture.
I see his picture. I can't hear him say anything.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we have trouble with this.
This podcast, you edited it?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Now we can.
We can hear you.
Yeah. Oh,
Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead and tell us.
I unfortunately I didn't hear the question, so if you could repeat it, I can give you a response.
The question was, after your basketball career, how did you make that transition from basketball? Can you hear me now? Yeah, Lloyd is having technical difficulties, you all.
Yeah.
Okay. So the question is, after your basketball career, how did you transition into the real world?
Since I played ball for 60 years, I'm not sure. My basketball career just ended 3 years ago.
What?
So the reality is I never stopped playing. I played every year for 60 years. I never stopped playing. I didn't get hurt. And so I was fortunate. I was blessed because I could still play.
But actually, I was talking about once you're a professional basketball
the reality is that basketball meant to me. Oh, that's something different. That's something different. Okay. Right. When I came home and I had to start a career, I didn't really want to do it because I really wasn't trying to stop playing ball. I just came home and got hurt in the semifinals of the Urban Coalition. And I dislocated my finger, and I couldn't go back and play.
Oh boy, that Urban Coalition!
I couldn't play, so I had to give up. I had to give it up.
Mm-hmm. It's funny.
Yeah. So I wasn't trying. It was 6 days before I was supposed to go back to Europe.
He's coming in and out on mine.
So I had to give it up, but it took a while for me to adjust. And then I had to make up my mind that my life, basketball was something that I did and I dearly loved, but it did not define all of who I was. And there was all this other stuff in there that I wanted to get out. So fortunately enough, I was able to transition into the world of work relatively easy, not at first, but as far as employment and as far as employment went. So I had my little stint selling. I sold clothes at Cavaliers and stuff like that.
All you hear is Cavaliers.
Got it. That's you know the jingle, So I did that, and there were other ball players who had done something similar. And so I just kind of parlayed one thing to another. I got a job working in the Office of Human Rights in DC government, and as an EEO coordinator. And I did that for a while and transitioned out of that into I was actually, Wilbur and I had kind of similar resumes because he brought me on in a job that he was doing as a what was that? At the FCC, we were a contractor at the FCC for information.
Okay.
No, that was after that at ITS. That was information contractor at the Federal Communications Commission. I had to learn all about satellites and microwave and all of the technology aspects. And I did that successfully. I think I was there about, I don't know, I think it was about 14 years or something, before I left that. And I started my own little research and telecommunications firm. And once the information, the internet started and they deregulated all of the stuff that was priority for me to do. Now anybody could do it. All they needed was a computer, but back then people didn't really understand the internet. So when they deregulated it, I then parlayed. I did something different, and so I started my own firm. I did that, and then from there, I got certified as a reading teacher, and then I went into education. So I did education and taught at Cardozo for a year, taught at Coolidge for several years, and then from that, I decided to take a job with the as an education director at the Boys and Girls Club. Right. And I did that for 11 years. And so I kind of moved around, but I always had successful careers.
So we coming at the end of the hour where we stop and we have this one standard question that we ask at the end of every show. And we like for each one of y'all to answer. We'll start with Kermit and then Wilbur, then Lloyd. But Mike, you want to set up our standard question?
What would you guys today tell a younger you?
That's a good question. First of all, you've got to want it. If you want to be a basketball player, first of all, you have to want it, and you have to compete against people that are better than you, not people that aren't as good as you, because you learn by losing. And about Rudolph Playground, everybody was better than me, but you kept learning. You kept learning, and you just learn by losing. See, and you learn by playing. So you just we can think, oh, okay, I'm ready. No, you got to really want it, and you can't be afraid to fail. So if you fail, you got to pick yourself up. I'll give you a good example. I used to jump rope 10,000 times a night with a 20-pound weight vest.
Whoa!
Senior in high school, because I wanted to be better. I go down to Rudolph, I would get beat to death. So I would go back home and jump rope and say, I can't wait till I meet that guy again next week. Then he'd beat me again. Then I said, I'm going to jump rope more. But the thing is, I kept getting better, and I wanted to compete. And so I kept getting better. And then I tell you, Rudolph Playground gave me all the confidence I needed in college. That's all I needed. I knew I could play with Wilbur?
Yep, Wilbur.
I think what I would tell a young man today, if we're talking about life today, I would tell him to first and foremost get away from people that are not good for you, and you have to accept that. And I know sometimes it's hard for them to do it, but honey, I don't want to hear that. I know it's hard for them to do that because of their environment, but that would be the first thing I would tell them. Look, there are people that are just not good for you, and you have to accept that. And sometimes that could be a family member. I mean, I can cite myself as an example. I had a horrible life growing up. I couldn't wait to get away from my family. I left home at 18 years old. It was the best thing I ever did in my life. And I was able to get away, find out who I was, and realize, hey, look, you're a pretty smart guy, first of all, and that you're capable of doing all these things, but you got to give yourself a chance to see yourself. And I think a lot of kids nowadays don't give themselves a chance to see themselves because they are burdened by their environment. But if they would just do that, I think they would be a lot better off. I mean, there's a lot of talented kids in low income environments. A lot of them. I know. Lloyd and I grew up with them. There's a lot of them, and if they just give themselves a chance. I mean, Lloyd was talking about us doing stuff together. He didn't say we did work for the National Football League Players Association. We were helping inner city kids, trying to get them to understand, hey, look, this is what you do. Come here. We're going to bring some professionals here, and they're going to tell you what you need to do if you want to be like them. And we bust these kids into camps in Culpeper, in the Catoctin Mountains. We did it in Louisiana. We did it in San Francisco. We did it in Chicago. And we showed them things that they could do if they wanted to do them. And it wasn't just some Tom, Dick, and Harry. I had an astronaut come down to Culpeper, Virginia, because some kids wanted to be astronauts. The guy came here with his uniform and everything. He tried to fly something there, but we didn't have enough room for him to fly something there. But you get exposed to those things like I got exposed, like Kermit got exposed, like Lloyd got exposed. And you can see, hey, look, I'm capable of all this stuff. But you got to give yourself a chance to get away from poisonous people. And I think that's the worst thing that hurts our young adults right now. They got too many poisonous people around them, and they need more people like you,
what about
Michael.
you, Lloyd? Oh, I think well, they need more people like all of us, actually. Yeah, it ain't enough of us. It ain't enough of us. Yeah.
Well, in my
what about
case,
you, Lloyd?
I fall back on what my mother just said to all of us. I had 3 sisters, 2 brothers. There were 6 of us. We growing up in the belly of the beast, okay? But my mother says, look, I'm raising 6 children, and I'm raising, my intention is to have 6 children with character and not 6 children who are characters, So whatever it is you're doing out there in the street is one thing, but when you come across that threshold, your life, whatever you're doing, better be in order. And so because of that, you do understand that there is wisdom right there in your own household, that there are people who are willing to guide and sacrifice, and they don't have the means with which to put you in the best situations and circumstances. But you yourself, my mother told me, I can't help you with geometry or algebra and stuff, but I expect you to go out and get the help that you need to find out how to better yourself. That my expectation exceeds perhaps what you're capable of, but it's the expectation nonetheless. So go get it and come back. I went to AU, like I said, because of Kermit, but the main reason why I'm very happy to have gone there is because even though I was only there a couple of years, what it did for me was to allow my parents and my family and my cousins and all of that to come see me play ball. And to this very day, I'm 79 years old. And to this very day, my cousins say to me that I remember when we were little kids and you came up to Philly to play at Temple or LaSalle and St. Joe's. My aunt and her family is 9 kids are up there in Philadelphia. They would bring all those kids to the game. So I'd have to have tickets for all of them to come. They still to this day tell me how happy they were to say, that's my cousin playing ball down there. It affected them. They remember it. That's it. And I can say that we have all lived a life that wasn't all peaches and cream. We didn't have that silver spoon in our mouths. But I say the quality of a person far exceeds anything else if you're willing to go to make that the high point in your life. Quality over quantity. You can have 1,000 cars, 1,000 houses, all of that stuff, but it comes down to the quality.
Yeah, great.
And Mr. Mays, I want to tell you this, man. Well, 79 years old.
I can't believe.
I hope I get to 79. You look good, man. You keep yourself in shape. You look good, man.
Don't say you look.
That's gorilla glue.
Don't overdo it with it, Mike. Then I have to hit, and I have to hear that for the rest of my days.
Too.
Don't overdo it, Mike. Please, man, don't overdo it. I'm gonna get a call tonight saying, "Hey, did you hear what Mike said?"
Yeah, don't forget it.
I'm gonna say, "No, I didn't hear. I think his mic wasn't working, man."
So look, y'all, this has been a great time. And before we go, Mike, I want to let Lloyd Mayes give a couple of announcements. He's got 2 events coming up with the DMV. Can you share that before we go right quick? The DMV Legends Cookout is Sunday. Say it again.
My organization, the DMV Athletes in Action, is sponsoring 2 events during the summer. Every year we do this. It's our 12th annual Legends Cookout, and that's going to be on Sunday, July 19th, down at Gilbert Run Park, and that's it's in La Plata, but they call it Charlotte Hall. And it's an event that we've done for 12 years. We used to have it at Haynes Point. Now we've moved it to a more user-friendly place. And it's open to all athletes. As a matter of fact, athletes, their families, whatever. You said athletes from all eras and all sports are welcome. We don't care if you didn't play ball at the varsity or all Met or all American level. If you played jacks, if you jumped rope, if you had a yo-yo, you're welcome to come.
And it's free.
Yeah. All right. The other event is our annual crab feast, and is actually our 6th annual crab feast. Is at Martin's Crosswind on August 15th. All right. It's in the afternoon from 1 to 5. It's all you can eat jumbo crabs. Okay.
Uh-oh.
All right.
Uh-oh.
And we have an outstanding buffet. Tickets are on sale.
How much?
You got to do, reach out. Tickets $110. $110. But it is the best buffet and the best crab feast. Bring your fans and make sure you got boots on the ground.
Where my fans at?
I'm sorry?
Where my fans at?
Getting ready to die.
Yeah, where they at?
My phone is ready to die.
I'm gonna make the summer event this year. I mean, I never been there. I always wanted to go and said I was coming, but I think I'm gonna make it this year.
Yeah.
God,
Oh
spend
my
life.
goodness.
Yeah.
You'll see so many people, we've had all kinds of people from nationally known people. We've had Dave Bing, Dean Meminger. We've had a bunch of people come to this event, to our picnic and stuff. The crab feast is a local thing. We have it indoors so that you ain't got to compete with flies and mosquitoes. It's air conditioned, clean, restrooms, the whole nine. I highly endorse it because it's a fundraiser for our scholarship program. And every single year we give out last year we gave out 6 scholarships, one to 2 student athletes in DC, to 2 in Maryland at high schools, and 2 in Virginia at high schools. So we represent the DMV in terms of our gift giving and our scholarship effort. And this crab feast helps us to fund that activity.
Okay.
Hey guys, it was a pleasure.
So thank you guys. Man,
my is gonna die right now. But
all right, well,
I enjoyed it. I
did too. I want to thank y'all for coming on, man. It means a lot to me. If it wasn't for y'all, it wouldn't be no me. So I sincerely mean that. I really do mean that.
Yeah.
I want to thank y'all, man.
Well, thank you for having us.
Hey,
Thank you all.
Mike, Bobby,
Righty.
you guys are special. Keep doing what you're doing. This is necessary. It creates an oral history and a visual history of what this is all about, what growing up in the DMV, growing up in DC, working through the problems that we all face in order to ascend to where we land. Yeah, it's just a journey. And the end point does not define the journey that you had to travel to get there. Very happy. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks, Lloyd, for being on, man.
All right.
That's a wrap on this episode of The Michael Graham Show. Big thanks to our guests, and bigger thanks to you for listening. If it hit home, share it. If it made you think, talk about it. Because change starts with conversation. Catch Michael next time. Same truth, same energy, same mission. Till then, stay loud, stay real, and stay connected.